and dear passengers, very warm welcome on board. As we are expecting almost a full flight this evening.
Hi everyone, my name's Scott. Welcome to Planes, Trains, Everything, and welcome to Budapest Airport. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the KLM Challenge. What is the KLM Challenge? Well, firstly, it begins with Wizz Air. You might be thinking, Scott, have you lost the plot? No. It's a positioning flight to get me from Budapest to Berlin, and then the fun begins. I've been here, Budapest and Prague for a little while, and it's time to head back to Blighty. And the fares were ridiculous. The fares from Budapest back to Edinburgh, back to Glasgow were crazy prices. And then I found a little more adventurous way of getting home. It's Wizz Air through to Berlin, and then it's KLM from Berlin, Amsterdam, Glasgow. And that was under half the price compared with other combinations. And I thought, let's have a little bit of fun on this. Now, I've got a little soft spot for KLM. I'm a member of the Flying Blue Club, not because of Air France, it is because of KLM. And I thought, I wonder what the chances are of something going pear-shaped. Now, in the EU and the UK, you have EU 261, which is basically air passenger rights. And I'm really hoping something goes pear-shaped today. It will go pear-shaped in three possible scenarios. The first scenario is Berlin to Amsterdam is seriously delayed, and I miss my flight from Amsterdam to Glasgow, overnight in Amsterdam. Second one is Berlin to Amsterdam is on time, Amsterdam to Glasgow is cancelled, overnight in Amsterdam. And scenario number 3, Berlin to Amsterdam, cancelled, overnight in Berlin. The craziest thing about this is 99.999% of passengers will always hope that there are no problems with their itinerary. I'm the 0.001 hoping something goes belly up today. I actually got 3 SMS messages from KLM this morning. First one was, you need to go to a ticket desk because we need to update some of your personal information. And I thought, I wonder what that is. Then it dawned on me. I haven't flown on KLM for a little while, and it's probably picking up my old passport number. I reckon that's what that is. SMS number 2 and number 3 was telling me that my Berlin to Amsterdam and my Amsterdam to Glasgow flights are completely full. You weren't being offered, you weren't being asked, you're basically being told you can check your hand luggage in with free of charge, just go to the check-in desk. There's no way this is going in the hold. And the reason for that is because on 2 occasions in the past, I've travelled with KLM via Amsterdam, and on both occasions, my luggage got a holiday in Amsterdam for the night. I went through to final destination. First one was Berlin. In all fairness, the bag did arrive the following day at lunchtime, but the best one was the second time. I went to Interlaken in Switzerland, and my bag arrived just as I was finishing my breakfast. KLM had sent it on the first possible flight from Amsterdam to Zurich. Swiss Railways had sent it from Zurich Airport to Interlaken, and a little courier had dropped it off at my hotel. That is Swiss efficiency. Of course, there's no guarantee this itinerary is going to go belly up, but if it does, this is a sort of itinerary where it will. Take Schiphol Airport, for example. That can be really, really busy, and it can be a bit of a challenge at the best of times. Also, statistically, your flight is 50% more likely to be delayed or cancelled after 3 p.m, and both of my KLM flights are after 3 p.m. So if this is going to go, it's going to happen on this itinerary. First things first, let's get airside, because I can feel a coffee coming on. I just ended up in Terminal 2A, and it's absolutely nuts over there. Hopefully that'll cause delays to flights. I have to go to 2B. Wizz to Berlin is delayed 35 minutes. That's not the one I wanted to be delayed. Not that one, please. Security was absolutely nuts. It only took about 5 or 10 minutes, but wow, the number of people squeezed in there. Not pleasant. Right. Coffee. Well, that flight was okay, 35 minutes delayed, a slight scare, but nothing more than that. I was originally going to use the transfer gate, but I'm thinking if KLM wants to track me down to update passenger information, I've got a better chance of finding a KLM sales desk landside than airside. So I've actually come back out, I'll go back in again. Zone D, Terminal 1 for KLM. Along here somewhere. Well, I've got absolutely no idea what that was all about. After queuing up for 10 minutes, finally got to speak to someone. After having trouble finding the desk, they don't do desks, they just do check-ins, and they can do everything there. She wanted to scan my passport and then printed off the boarding passes, which I had electronically anyway. No idea what that was about. Anyway, time to get airside and maybe get some lunch. Still trying to get my head around that KLM thing. It's almost as if, because it's a connection, they wanted both flights on the one boarding pass. Maybe it's just to highlight the fact that if there was a delay in Amsterdam, they know to speedily move me onto the second flight, which I don't want. I just got pinged by KLM. Your flight has been delayed, and I thought, yes, here we go, here we go. 10 minutes. At least it's a start. Right, food. Really good. I think I've got it. Both flights are on the same boarding pass because I'm going from Schengen to non-Schengen, and I'll probably be using the transfer gate. That's what it is. It flags up the fact that I'm a non-Schengen person. Ooh. Yes, I've now had another update. Flight from Berlin to Amsterdam now delayed 35 minutes due to the late arrival of the inbound aircraft. I hate that excuse, but we're getting there. "35 minutes late." That was a good flight. Just over an hour and 20 minutes, but they still managed to have snacks and drinks served. And the pilot was there saying goodbye to everyone. You don't get that on Ryanair, do you? Plan of action is to use the transfer gate if I can find one. If they have one, I just have to remember to get my passport stamped because I'm non-Schengen. Gate D55. Now to get there, you must be going through passport control of some sort. Here's a totally useless factoid for you. Did you know that Schiphol Airport is the only airport in the world that was the site of a naval battle? That's because it's actually below sea level, and it was once sea. Area D for Glasgow is between 5 and 18 minutes away. This is a huge airport. Okie dokie, I get it now. There's a whole area of Schiphol Airport which is actually for non-Schengen. Area D, for example, is one of these areas. D55, that's where I'm heading for, and at the moment I'm at D3. That's why it takes up to 18 minutes to get there. It's a huge airport. So at the moment the Amsterdam-Glasgow flight is on time, but then again so is the Berlin-Amsterdam flight until about 40 minutes before departure. It might still be cancelled, you never know. Yeah, so I find Schiphol Airport a lot more organised than Bandenburg, and Bandenburg is a lot newer. Bandenburg was kind of disorganised on the outside. I found some of the signage was actually misleading, because when I was looking for the KLM desk it was telling you to go to, I think it was area 511. So you go to 511 and it wasn't for KLM, that's for sure. I had to ask one of the guys and they said, oh, it's 600 and something, so I had to go over to 600. I was trying to get into the secure area where you use your boarding pass to get in and then you go through the x-rays. It was cordoned off. There was no way of getting into it. So I said to one of the guys, how do you get in there? Oh no, it's closed off now. I said, well, how do you get through security? I'll go up to the far end of the building there and turn left. Sadly, the Amsterdam-Glasgow flight is still on time, but there is still an opportunity it could go belly up. So stick around and we'll find out together. And here we are in Glasgow. That's been a long day. Now the challenge was to try and be on a disrupted flight, so in EU 261 would be initiated. That didn't happen, so I guess in that sort of aspect the challenge was a fail. But it did remind me how good KLM were. Funnily enough though, the flight from Amsterdam to Glasgow was delayed. It arrived into Amsterdam on time, it left 20 minutes late. And it left 20 minutes late because of a faulty switch in the cockpit. And I know that because the pilot, are you ready for this? The pilot actually came out and made an announcement to everyone apologising for the delay, 20 minutes, and the reason behind it. Then he and another member of staff from KLM went around the entire waiting area, speaking to people, making sure they understood what the problem was. And I thought, I've never ever seen that before, especially on Ryanair, for example. Can you imagine a Ryanair pilot apologising? So on that flight, it was 1 hour and 10 minutes from Amsterdam. They still managed to have enough time to put out a round of drinks and some Dutch sandwiches as well, which are very nice. Yeah, so if you take Wizz out of the equation, the 2 KLM flights were delayed, and they were both afternoon evening flights, and they were through Amsterdam. So my calculations were right, they just weren't bad enough to initiate EU 261. What do you think about KLM? I actually like them, and I always have. I've got a little soft spot for KLM, but some people can't stand them for some reason. I don't know why, but the staff looked, anyway, as if they were enjoying themselves, smiling and handing stuff out. I know they're probably thinking inside, boy, I can't wait for this shift to finish, but they looked as if they were enjoying it, and that was part of the thing. And even the captain, again, on departure of the aircraft, was there, wishing everyone a safe night and whatever. It reminds me that I travel on Ryanair way too much. I only wish that KLM had cheaper fares out of Glasgow, that's the thing. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for coming along on this. It has been a long day. I really enjoyed travelling on KLM. It's been so long, and I'll have to make sure I don't wait so long again. I'll see you next time.